to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, in your own narrative. That's the absolutely most important thing. And you're even learning what that narrative would look like. Special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us and everyone who sends us love donations through PayPal. We appreciate, love you so much. We do share a lot of more news on the Patreon page because of all the censorship that's going on. There's just certain stories we can't share here. But there is one particular story that I wanted to bring to you. And it's about this cyclone that was supposed to hit Tanzania. But I'm telling you, beloveds, it's like there was a prayer shield or something. And it shows you that, you know, it's begun. That's the first thing I felt. It's begun. And, you know, our people are working in earnest. Our people, you know, have really come together. There's so many prayer warriors out there that are upholding Tanzania. But what happened? Let me just backtrack. Is a couple of days ago, like maybe last week, you know, the Babylon system, the Babylon news, the Babylon propaganda machine, CNN released this message where they were like, you know, a very rare cyclone is about to hit Tanzania. No such cyclone has actually been seen in modern times. And they actually called it Cyclone Jobo. So if you know what Jobo means, like, you know, maybe the underground, underbelly meaning. And everyone was on alert. Then all of a sudden they even said, Kenya, don't worry, you know, as a puppet nation, the cyclone won't hit you. You guys are going to be fine. And there was just this fear. And, you know, it was picking up it picked up for almost like, here in Kenya, it picked up for almost like a day. And the news covered it. We saw, you know, the Al Jazeeras of this world all saying, you know, this massive cyclone's going to hit Tanzania. We've never seen anything like it. It's like our people don't know about HAARP. Please do your research about HAARP. You know, the weather right now is manufactured, beloveds, just like most of our lives. Seriously. When people say we're living in a simulation, you have no idea how much we're living in a simulation. You know, back in the day, I think in the 50s, clouds and create rain. Now it's gone to a whole other level where, the things that can happen with weather manipulation. And, you know, and a similar thing happened with Mozambique. I reported about it. And Mozambique, we really have to look carefully at that, you know, at that nation, because they're the ones that just discovered the natural gas. They're the ones that just discovered the rubies. And by the way, I know I'm not doing news, but France is moving out of Mozambique. Stories for other days. There's too much, you know, they say there's too much chaos. But the ancestor spirit is moving everywhere. But let me get back to Tanzania. So, cyclones are not normal, beloveds. And back in, like, I think it was 2019 or 2018, I'm not sure, a massive cyclone hit Mozambique. And most people were wondering because it went around Madagascar. How does a storm go around? It went around Madagascar and then landed on Mozambique and caused so much havoc. I mean, millions of people were affected. You know, we saw all these army jets from South Africa having to go in and intervene. And then next thing, a massive natural gas deal is signed. And then next thing, you know, the rubies. And then next thing, the people are being displaced. These things just don't happen. So maybe the powers that be thought they could do the same thing with Tanzania. But I'm telling you, beloveds, ever since Magufuli left, and he knew he was going to be a sacrifice, it's like he awakened, you know, the global African spirit. And so many people are upholding Tanzania right now. So many people are praying for Tanzania. And you can too. You can also add your, you know, that no weapon fashioned against Tanzania shall prosper. Because right now, as much as, you know, and I know people are saying, can we trust, you know, President Samia, etc., etc. She was Magufuli's vice president. president, beloveds. But, regardless of that, I always say, instead of doubting and questioning and creating that vibe and even a window, send vibes to her where she will be, where she will be the greatest queen that Tanzania has ever had, that she will protect them with wisdom. She will be as deadly as a serpent, but as innocent as a dove. Send those kind of vibes instead of also feeding and giving Babylon even the energy to try and manipulate her, etc., etc. But I really feel, beloveds, that this whole Cyclone Jobo was a HAARP event. And, since I think Thursday, they've been saying it's going to hit. And then Tanzania announced yesterday, because now all the CNNs that covered this story, that when it didn't hit and cause devastation, they've moved on to their next agenda because this one failed. But Tanzania announced that by the time it hit Dar es Salaam, it was so soft. It didn't cause any damage, no loss of life, no nothing. And that is the power, beloveds, of us coming together collectively. Even where you are, individually, just dedicating your energy, your love, your devotion to a liberated and restored Africa, to a secure Africa where nothing can penetrate, where anything that wants to do damage, because, the spirit of Africa is alive, beloved, and it's fighting in earnest. We now must join, because this vehicle gives us license to do many things here and to kind of add fuel to the fire, beloveds. But, the spirit of Magufuli is in so many young people, and they are, they're chanting for him. And remember the way they took his body all around the nation? Beloveds, I'm even feeling goosebumps. That was a very spiritual thing, beloveds, that was deeper than what met the eye. But long story short, the prayer shield held. Something happened. And Tanzania was spared. But this is how we will fight the war. Because so many people get in touch with me and they're like, we don't have an army. We don't have bombs. We don't have guns. Stop looking at things physically, beloveds. If you look at what you don't have physically, of course you're going to lose. Because we're not just physical. Physical is the lowest level. It's already manifestation. But if you were to tap into what we have spiritually and just make your contribution, everything changes. Absolutely everything changes. We are more powerful than we think, but we're about to see some signs and wonders. And I'm telling you, beloveds, this is a sign and wonder. And and that's why now, whenever someone, reports a negative vibe about our nations, they should be held to account. And the problem is that it's only, we've given over everything to Babylon, even reading the weather. All the meteorological departments are copy-paste Babylon system. So it's like Babylon can say, hey, there's a cyclone heading your way, watch out. And then they make get that into the news cycle. But what I'm loving is their stories aren't sticking anymore. Their negative stories about our continent, about our nation, our people, they're not sticking. And we must continue to walk away, beloveds. Let's not let's not add fuel to their fight. Let's not empower them. They don't have power unless we pick up a story and run with it in our minds and give it power by putting it on all our social media. I had really wanted to call on people to pray and chant and, offer a protective field around Tanzania, but it was already happening, beloveds. And a lot of people are calling on me to maybe do like a meditation, or we all come together at a certain time. Soon come. I'm just waiting for, the Spirit to tell me how to move forward with that, But this is a victory, beloveds. It may not be. That's why it's important for us to tell our own story with an African mind, beloveds. An ancient, Edenic mind. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.